Sorry that I'm finally getting a chance to speak on this, but this Black Girl Gamers thing is very interesting. Shout out to everybody in all the pocket of the internet that has chimed in. Big shout out to Gothics. But I got some things that I want to say. Danny Fernandez, whoever that is, posted something on Twitter. And I think it kind of maybe accurately, at least somewhat, represents kind of what's the intention here with a Black Girl Gamer thing, or with this thing. Now, for those of you that don't know, maybe out of the loop, this is just one of those Black Girl Gamers, one of those like general firms, consulting, doing all that good stuff. Very similar to what Sweet Baby Inc. is doing. And I think that's what's happened right now is a lot of backlash that happened with Sweet Baby Inc. And as people start to learn that there's more of them out there, there's plenty of them out there, folks are starting to seek them out, identify the games that they've been working on and start acting accordingly. And people don't like that because they're generally associated with stuff that is bad. And I think that is the reason that you need to understand that if you are pro Black Girl Gamers or Sweet Baby Inc. or whatever, is that what's your contribution often to the games, whether you believe it or not, has nothing to do with actually making it better. And I think that's why people take exception to it. But let's read through this real quick. Danny Fernandez here. Black Girl Gamers is allowed to have a space that doesn't include you. Using this in quotes right here. What if we had an all-white space or male? All male, I guess, space. You have. Since the dawn of games, comics, and cinema, we quite literally live in a white patriarchal society, buzz terms galore. BGG was made out of necessity. You have made folks uncomfortable enough and unwelcome enough to need a space where they can be free to create without the racism and sexism that is so heavily embedded into gaming culture. To act like it isn't makes me think that you are not only naive, but an actual idiot. Imagine being a punk ass bitch, getting aggressive there, and crying about a space that you are already the dominant demo in. The gaming community is created for you, with you in mind. I don't know, with you, do you mean just gamers? You are the default, which means the rest of us must create our own spaces. I don't need to be in BGG, nor am I meant to. Other POC can take it upon themselves to create something for their community in the same way they did. Or you can shut your mouth. Black women and WOCs, I guess women of color, are the least paid, least represented demo, period. Okay. So I'm going to go somewhere with this. I am pro freedom of association. And I'm capitalist, obviously. All rights extend from private property rights. And what some people don't seem to understand, that what comes with private property rights is the ability and the actual right to discriminate. I know that is used as a term that is a boogeyman term, which everybody associates with negative. But if you strip that word down to the crux of what it actually means, let's say that, it's inherent in private property rights. Now, with that being said, of course, people are going to point out some levels of hypocrisy in the event that there's something there. But I'm pro you getting together and doing whatever that it is that you want to do. Now, going back to what I said earlier, you don't really offer a service that makes games better by any means. Okay. And this is, I guess, the consequences maybe of that. So, sure, you have a right to exist and create your own spaces, but if your contribution, let's say, to maybe gaming, be it as the individual games or as a culture, isn't necessarily positive to the other gamers, and this includes other black people, maybe even other black women, especially other black women, well, this is what you get. Okay. Now, one thing that I do reject, because she did mention since the dawn of games, comics, apparently, look. Obviously, I'm a man that's in comics, okay, black man. It comes whole shock, right? And unlike many of these cats, I have done something that is that they, I guess, act as if it cannot happen. And I am I'm not like just working on somebody else's other stuff, be it a Marvel or DC. Not only did I create my own characters and all that stuff, we have been crazy successful. I've never looked at my race as something that is as a hindrance or something that prevented me, let's say, from doing that. But in the same respects, and this is just putting you on game, Black Girl Gamers, and why I think you're going about this the wrong way. If you do think that you offer a perspective that is needed or rather necessary, creating that sort of hive mind, because we know that this isn't the only thing that you care about. Of course, there's no diversity in thought. We already know how y'all get down, especially in regard to like the political and social stuff. Okay. But if you do believe that you have something that is genuine and that you want to contribute, blackity black, and focusing, hyper emphasizing on that is the worst way to do it. And so many folks have fallen victim to that. Now, look, you might have caught lightning in the bottle. Okay, definitely post 2020, where you had all these mega corporations start to seek you guys out because they wanted to prove that y'all that they weren't racist, right? So yeah, there's a whole lot of virtue signaling in that regard. But just with regard to merits, I think that's the important thing that we must discuss here. Damn the other stuff. If you think as a black person or whatever ilk that you are made of, I don't care. You offer something that is worthwhile, focus on exactly that. And the audience, the customers even, will determine whether or not that information is useful. Y'all get so caught up in this, creating these dragons that you think that you need to slay. It's like this nonsense about, oh, well, these are your spaces. I've never felt that way. I've been a gamer quite literally my entire life. Never, not on a basis of race, have I felt some way of being excluded. That's absolute nonsense. But again, this is a problem that they create in their own heads, and then they create this dragon that they absolutely need to slay. And it's funny because oftentimes you get people that are part of this, and definitely if guys like myself, you see how they're doing with Gothic as well. They have nerve to call folks grifters, term that is so overused. But one can make the argument, though, that that is a projection at best. Because if there is a grift that is out there, it's certainly race hustling. Because there's no true market demand for it. However, you have seen that the more status quo, the establishment, if you will, in regards to the mainstream, they love y'all now. And now you've propped yourselves up, the Sweet Baby Inks, and now it's a whole lot of y'all. It's like, hey, we exist. Go pay us. Get us involved in your projects, and we will shield you from homophobia and sexism and racism and whatever terms, because we will make sure that your product is up to snuff. I think you're going about it the wrong way, just on some real stuff. If I can offer any advice, and I'm saying again, y'all, I have the receipts, okay? You guys have watched me over the years. I have done a lot of cool things, fronted bands, done, doing what we're doing with the Rippaverse. The best thing that you can do, if you want to be in a space and you think that you offer something, because it's not really up to you, it's up to the customers. But like I said earlier, if you think that you offer something useful, shut the hell up about the social nonsense with regard to, and I keep saying with regard, I've said that like a million times in this video. I don't know why. Weird. Either way, whether you're black, whether you're whatever, put that by the wayside and just create. And let the audience, let the customers determine your value. You can't superficially do that. It's artificial as all get out, and they pick up on that. But we ain't done here. It's not just black girls gamers. It's not just all of the other the Sweet Baby Inks. There's a multitude of these different groups. Either they are external, like some of these groups are, where they'll work with various other businesses and such. And then you have these companies that have their own little fake DIE departments, in which they hyper-emphasize everything else other than making the damn game better. Now, people that don't actually care about games may believe that you offer something and it makes it better. But I'm here to tell you, and this is why you're getting the backlash, it's almost a kiss of death. And whether it's now so bad to whether or not it's specifically your fault, because I think a lot of blame is go around. I mean, after all, you are being brought in to provide a service. So that's on the leadership there, why they bringing you in to do this stupid stuff. But now if there's any sort of knock on your game, they're going to put, well, y'all are focusing on the wrong stuff. You are like putting, let's say, resources and money into the wrong thing. Even if it wasn't specifically just your fault. It's a kiss of death. But the best way you can be great is to just go be great. It's a simple thing, I promise you.